Welcome back. It's Haley Gibson here. Today I'm talking about a common genetic disorder that the majority of functional and mainstream medicine overlook every day. Pyroluria is considered by many in the functional medicine world the most common unknown disorder. Pyroluria need a specific diet, lifestyle, and supplementation program to get well. It is a genetic condition that is typically related to familial alcoholism and or environmental toxicity. The onset usually begins in the late teens and is often triggered by a traumatic life event. Common symptoms include anxiety and inner tension. Before we get started, just like to dive into a little bit about who I am so that you know who you're listening to. So this is kind of an overview of my holidays. You can see in the top left-hand corner, that's myself with my best friend and her mom for Thanksgiving. Next to that is myself with my boyfriend's mother and his sister-in-law. We had a little spa day, got a facial done. It was amazing. I've never had one done before, and it was awesome. I used all organic, natural products, and I swear my skin looks so much better. Over to the right, that is myself with my boyfriend's family. We were celebrating Thanksgiving in that picture as well, out by the lake. And then down below it, these are our Christmas celebrations. It's my boyfriend with his sister-in-law and brother. And then to the right, this is our Exodus Health Center Christmas party. It was a great time, and we did a little gift swap that Dr. Jocker's wife put on, and it was a lot of fun. All right, so let's talk about pyroluria. What is it? So there are several waste products that are produced when the body makes hemoglobin for the red blood cells. These waste products are called cryptopyrroles, which are technically called HPL for short. These are typically excreted by our body. However, individuals with pyroluria are unable to clear this HPL effectively, and it builds up in their system to a toxic level. This HPL molecule that I'm referring to strongly binds to zinc, biotin, and vitamin B6, which are critical nutrients for cellular metabolism. Over a period of time, the body becomes very deficient in these critical nutrients and symptoms arise. These people will often go years suffering the effects of this disorder despite a clean diet, supplementation, and holistic therapies. And this is just related to them not absorbing and being able to utilize the nutrients that they're taking in, because this HPL is completely just eradicating their ability to hold on to these things. So pyrolurics have a greater need for omega-6 fatty acids than most in our society. You hear all the time about everyone needing omega-3 fatty acids. Well, it is a little bit different if you have pyroluria. So they need both arachidonic acid and gamma-linolenic acid. A diet rich in pasture-raised eggs, grass-fed butter, grass-fed beef, and wild game and organ meat supplies the body with significant amounts of essential fats. These foods are also rich in zinc. GLA is found in borage oil, evening primrose oil, black currant seed oil, and hemp oil. And this is also a very anti-inflammatory omega-6 oil. It is not like the typical omega-6 that you hear most of the functional world talking about all the time. So this is typically supplemented with one of these sources. It is hard to get enough GLA in our diet. Typically, we don't need to supplement with omega-3 fatty acids. Like I said, this isn't the standard for the majority of us. We usually tell everyone else to supplement with it, but if pyroluria is a concern, it's not necessary. So common symptoms of this disorder include chronic anxiety, social anxiety, poor dream recall, depression, morning nausea, anemia, fatigue, pale or fair skin, lack of protein, joints popping or cracking, dislike of protein. I know several people who have a really hard time just eating protein because it's not even appetizing to them. Low serotonin and GABA, these are neurotransmitters. Very strongly dislikes public speaking. Typically a cat person. They do have gluten sensitivity the majority of the time. Other autoimmune disorders will be seen with it: digestive issues, mood swings, poor immunity, they're sick all the time, and terrible PMS symptoms. So research has shown that zinc can be used as a standalone intervention to help with depression and anxiety instead of medications. This is a huge finding. A standalone intervention is a pretty big deal. Coffee, sugar, and exercise deplete zinc stores even further. So if you already have pyroluria and you're zonking your zinc stores, and then you go on and you drink coffee, you eat sugar, and you're exercising hard, your body is completely depleted. So here are some foods that include high amounts of zinc: oysters, chicken, grass-fed dairy, cashews, spinach, almonds, all this good stuff. You see grass-fed meat down there and pumpkin seeds. Those are two really great sources. But if this is an issue for you at all, I would also advise supplementation, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So one way that we test for zinc deficiency is by using a liquid zinc substance. If you've ever seen this, you know what I'm talking about, but it's like a little bottle. It contains a little bit of zinc in it, and what you'll do is you'll actually put this on your tongue. And if you notice that it is tasteless or it tastes like water, this means that you're very deficient in zinc. If you have adequate levels of zinc in your body, then the taste of the zinc liquid is actually going to taste different. So the more zinc you have, the more nasty this liquid is going to taste. Very cool test. I advise trying to do this cheap test just to get an idea. It's not definitive, but it is a very good indicator. So poor dream call has been correlated with low levels of vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is important for hundreds of reactions in our body, so depleted stores can be dangerous. This vitamin is found in seafood, meat, and green leafy vegetables, among other things, listed here on this chart. However, the number one way we get B6 into our system is through fiber that our gut microbes break down and produce B6 as a byproduct of their metabolism. Probiotics and fermented foods are also necessary for these individuals to reduce inflammation related to stress and heal appropriately. So very important. B6 is important for all of our neurotransmitters. So if we're not able to convert our neurotransmitters into things that they need to be used for, such as dopamine, serotonin, the catecholamines, etc., if we're not converting into these, then we can see issues with just our overall mood, anxiety, hunger, sleep, just everything about us. So very important to get adequate amounts of B6 and make sure that we're holding on to it. So pyroluria can be diagnosed through a specific cryptopyrroles urine test. As you can see, there are many different individuals who may be struggling with this disorder who are unaware. Many times people who suffer from addiction, schizophrenia, ADHD, depression, and poor immunity are oftentimes struggling with the deficiencies related to this disorder. This test can be ordered through drdockers.com. Again, that's drdockers.com. And then we will personally discuss the results with you. And if you look down below, these are just common issues that if you're suffering with these and you just can't seem to figure out the answer, this test may be worth looking into for you. So this is just a little slide that has very common symptoms associated with this disorder listed. If any of this PowerPoint is sounding familiar or could possibly make sense, I would tell you to go through this questionnaire and just see how you do. If you find that at least 15 of these symptoms apply to you, I would highly recommend getting testing done or at least begin supplementation with zinc and B vitamins. So these individuals, as I mentioned earlier, need to supplement with zinc and coenzymated form of vitamin B6 called P5P. A general methyl donating supplement with P5P and other methyl donors are quite effective with this process. So this is our package that we use. So the Adapt Strong has a lot of really great herbs in it that are great for hypo or hyper adrenal function. They also contain good amounts of vitamin B5 and vitamin B6. We've talked about B6 quite a bit in this PowerPoint. It goes a lot more in depth, but we just kind of touched on it. So this pack also includes GLA, which is the omega-6 that I mentioned earlier. It also contains Prescript Assist probiotics. This is very important for maintaining gut health and providing sufficient amounts of B6 as well as B12. The Brain Supercharge right there in the middle, this contains CoQ10, lipoic acid, and acetylcysteine, among several other things that help support mitochondrial function. We also recommend high doses of zinc, such as 60 to 100 milligrams daily. And then we also have methylation support, which I'm not going to talk about methylation on this particular PowerPoint, but I will touch on it in another one. But it's very important for every reaction in our body, basically. You need B6, B2, folate, and B12. So these things can be found in these supplements. All right. So that's about it. This last slide is just of myself with Dr. Jockers. We do work with people locally and over long distance. You can make an appointment at Exodus Health Center with us, or you can email me at nutrition@drjockers.com. We can set up an appointment over the phone or by Skype. We do review any labs as well as go over lab testing recommendations, things like that. We do advanced nutrition and lifestyle coaching. So if you're interested in this, just shoot me an email over at nutrition@drjockers.com. Thanks for listening.